Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I think we finally won. I think we're like this close from completing a task that's taken several years to eradicate demon kind from them. Today is Halloween 2024, and I've got a bit of a story to tell. Um, we're this far away from done with demon kind.
I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
So today was the first time I ever missed a mission. Like, I think it's for the last 2 years straight, I've been flying 2, 3, 4, 5 missions there, various times, various groups during different weeks, over different periods, relentlessly for the last few years. And today is the second one that I've missed. The first one was like a week ago, and then this one, which seems to have been really, really important, I was asleep. I finished some session work with somebody this morning, and then stood up and just nosedived straight into the bed and stayed there. I was not aware just how acute the attack really was, because the point of putting me to sleep was to make sure I was not on this mission that just occurred today. And I woke up about halfway through it, or towards the end of it, and joined the group, and I'm a little bit startled about how far we've gotten and exactly how close we are to the end. I had this inkling that Halloween, that they would lash out in some form, but it seems like they've taken this moment, a spell's been done, and they've been sent to destroy anyone who stops us. Those are the words of the spell that I picked up. And so our team had a real proper battle today, and it included some of our new cadets. We had 7 graduates from our last group of the astral projection teams from our course, and these guys got straight into the thick of it, because if we were speaking to one of the global chakras on one of the major ley lines, Kukulkan, also known as the rainbow-feathered serpent god. It told us that we had reduced the demonic population on Earth by 64%. And what was left of it pretty much attacked us today. And yeah, the first thing they did was knock me out, and then they started attacking everybody else. When everybody else found their feet, so they all grouped together and made a really incredible repulse of the attack. Then they banded around me and took away all of the things that were busy trying to knock me out for good. Yeah, aren't we lucky we formed a team to do that? And I'm so impressed with my friends for jumping into the breach when I didn't open the Zoom room. I didn't open the meeting. I just go, yeah, we're doing it anyway. Let's get it happen. Yep. And the exploits that were carried out were phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. You see, they threw basically everything they had left at us. You may remember when we spoke to that ley line structure, that it said there are 4 strongholds. Well, the team took out 2 of them. I joined them on the 3rd one, and the only one left is the Vatican. It was amazing. After a 3-hour-long astral projection, and none of it was gentle. There were no quiet moments. There was nothing soft about it. It was combat, relentlessly. And you don't get a breather in those missions. You don't get a moment to rest, because you are constantly batting off some kind of viciousness. And what we were always playing with was our sanity. Like, these guys risk their sanity for all of us. And I just want to say my biggest thank you for the work that these volunteers, they're all volunteers put into this. It's amazing. You'll meet them when we launch the new website called theearthguard.org, because our group is finally getting it together and forming a political faction. We're here to add to this direction that steers the future of Earth, because we don't want demons as any part of it, and we think that that's a healthy beginning to any Earth that we see in the future. Now, the strongholds that our team attacked and took down was one in New York, in which they implant a sigil just about here on every single human that says they own their body. Isn't that awesome? And that was, you know, we were talking about massive, deep wells on the astral plane that are that literally, it's like a pinch in a tarpaulin, and everything flows into these spaces. And so New York was a deep pit of hell. And if you live there, let us know if the air changes, if the currents, if the emotional currents, if the emotional weather in New York changes, because I expect it will. Same with Geneva, because the crew took out Geneva, which was about claiming all of our bodies. I woke up at this point and joined them in the attack on the London Square Mile, which was again another pit. And at the bottom was I actually saw this one. So what happened there was we encountered a mountain-sized Jabba the Hutt character, and I think somebody called him his personality was like Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. And I was looking, and he's just constantly consuming. And what is he consuming? People's hopes, people's dreams, their ambitions, their 10 years of hard work building this, because the London Square Mile is all about pulling the financial rug out from under people who are making things happen. And then apparently the feelings of despair and hatred and betrayal and having all their spirit crushed is the juiciest thing this guy can eat. And so all he ever thinks is, feed me, feed me, feed me, and he's just destroying people's lives. And as a joke, one of our more aggressive team members, who calls herself Duke Nukem now, got a giant rolling pin and rolled all of the things that he'd eaten out of him. So there's nothing but a flesh sack left for us to process, and all of the energies went back to all of the people who he had eaten them from. But there were hundreds and hundreds of portals with incoming hopes and dreams that were crushed into his space, and so we inverted all of those pipes, and then converted them all into an energy that we can use, which we're devoting at the moment to building a new shield around Earth. But I'll talk more about that later. But what does all of this mean? It means, if the ley line's correct, and I don't see why it would lie to us, then demonkind has 36% of its population from, say, 3 or 4 years ago. That's it. And by systematically crushing them over the last 2 years, they had no choice but to do a Hail Mary attack. And that just failed. That's what's going on here. The last stronghold they have is the Vatican. And we debated pushing on, but everybody had been flying for 3-4 hours at that point. So I think everybody needed rest. However, we have another mission scheduled for tomorrow. So it seems as though that's all but done. So originally, this particular video, I was planning to do something about November 5 and the US election. You see, those guys, they've planned something destructive every time things don't go their way. You may or may not have been aware that the Ukraine war kicked off on the same day that Tony Fauci was due in front of the Supreme Court, or that on September 10, 2001, Donald Rumsfeld was brought into Congress, and he had to explain a $2.3 trillion gap in the US military budget. And the only thing that could cost that kind of money is a secret space program. It's the only thing. So to cover that up, the very next day, the Twin Towers went down. Same, if you remember Bono, how he's doing that click, you know, every 2 seconds, a child in Africa dies for preventable reasons. You may or may not remember that, but the morning that he was supposed to address the UN with that was the day of the London bombings. And in each of these instances, same with Bill Clinton going to court for Monica Lewinsky, they bombed Iraq that day. So sorry, I can't go to the court because I'm too busy running a war. And I just want you to understand from those events just how willing they are to deal out bulk death to cover their tracks, because in each instance, there's a media blackout. There's no room for any other story except that one story in the media. And that's the only thing we're allowed to talk about, and that's how they cover their tracks. Well, November 5 had a looming Black Swan event, as it was called. Now, our team went out and did another 2.5-hour epic mission that I am stunned we pulled off, actually. I didn't think it was feasible. I can't talk about what it was. I might talk about it later on our personal website where we can say the things we want to say that we won't get censored for. But that Black Swan event also won't occur now. So what does this mean? It means tomorrow, our predictions is that we're going to crush the Vatican, or crush the demonic nature of the Vatican. Now, everybody who's ever flown a light mission anywhere in the world, and a lot of people do this solo, and my love to you all, most sincerely, like everybody flies against the Vatican. It's kind of like a graduation gift you give yourself. It's like what do you call it? Like a notch on your belt or something. I flew against the Vatican, but the Vatican's defenses have been standing up to light worker attack for, well, let's just say, centuries. And their defenses are incredible. You know, you might blow it up, but it's like a liquid installation that all of the juice flows out of it, and then 5 minutes later flows back in, and it's like nothing happened. It's beyond my understanding. You know, and we've looked at cross-dimensionality, parallel reality. We looked at a whole bunch of different things, but we've never been able to crack the code for that. But after these missions, I went over and had a sneaky peek, as I would do, and looked at it, and I go, nah, like a lot of those defenses are down. Like they don't, whatever they've got going on, it was networked to the other 3 strongholds. And so I think if you remember the One People's Public Trust legal event from a few years ago that caused the Pope to resign, you may or may not remember this, but what it told us is the Pope is the trustee for the earth. And, you know, he's, because we are too immature to look after ourselves, he's going to do it for us, no matter how incompetently, nastily, or underhandedly he chooses to do that. Now, the One People's Public Trust got him to resign because the beneficiaries of the trust said, we don't have any faith in you anymore. We thought it would be the Queen who resigned, but I think we're going to see an unprecedented event, because without demonkind, the Illuminati have no power. All of their magic is black magic, and black magic, see, magical power is not shared, particularly on the dark side. It is not shared. And so the mechanism is the humans will perform a ritual that pays the demons, and the demons perform a task for them. And that's the procedure in its multiple different forms. However, without any demons there to be paid, without any of their servants or masters, you know, whichever way that relationship goes, since they're not there, all of the sacrifice and all of the ceremony that they can engage in, there's no one who's willing to work for them. So their magical influence to bend reality, it's done. It's over. And our team's goal to take that advantage off the Illuminati is now complete, or very close to complete. The funny thing is, I don't even feel anything about it. I've been pushing this barrow for so many years that it doesn't even mean anything when it's finally happening. Because I think I've had every emotion feasible on this topic. But yeah, I'm calling it. The demonic influence is all but over. And our mission after that, I think we're going to be spending 3 to 6 months consolidating Earth as its own powerhouse and reshaping the energetic landscape here. And after that, we're probably going to go liberate some other planets from the influence of this nasty. But for now, I think we've just got all good news. Yay. I'm really stunned about how little I feel about this, but I want you to get excited, please. Pray for the final success of our team. Just say a prayer into the wind, please. And that'll turn out to be luck for us. Look, my love to you all. Stay well. And here's to a new Earth. Here's to an Earth without evil. Wow. My love to you all. Bye.
I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.